Money. We use it every day to buy food, clothes, and even that overpriced coffee you love. But have you ever wondered, what's the deal with money? Where does it come from? Why do prices seem to keep going up? And why do people save it? Well, let's break it down into simple terms. But yeah, first things first, where does money come from? No, it's not printed by some magical machine. Most money starts with central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the US or the European Central Bank. They decide how much money should exist to keep the economy stable. Central banks create money in two main ways: printing physical cash and creating digital money. But here's the catch: they don't just give it away. This money usually enters the economy through banks, who lend it out to businesses and people like you and me. So every dollar you spend is part of this giant system that keeps our economy moving. Cool, right? Yeah, so I said earlier that the process of how money is created starts with the central banks, but the entire process of how banks increase the total money in supply, which is basically increasing the amount of money in the economy or creating more money, is something known as fractional reserve banking, where banks create loans using our deposits. But this is a bit more complicated for now, and it's something we will eventually go into in the future. Why does everything seem to get more expensive over time? That's called inflation. Inflation happens when the cost of goods and services rise. At the university level, we will start to see it's a general increase in price level, but it basically means the same thing. Imagine this: your parents, or rather your grandparents, could buy a loaf of bread for 50 cents, but now a loaf of bread costs about $3. Why? Well, because as more money enters the economy, it lowers the value of each dollar, meaning we need more of them to buy the same stuff. You may be wondering why the value of each dollar reduces as more money enters the economy. So, to simplify further, just keep in mind, this is a really dumbed down version, and basically what happens is that inflation is driven by demand and supply. So in the economy where our grandparents were buying a loaf of bread for 50 cents, imagine a lot of money started to enter the economy. So most people now have more money, meaning they have a higher purchasing power. And remember, we said this is a really dumbed down version, right? So we're not considering other things that might affect the price. When the demand for that loaf of bread is really high now, because a lot of people now have a lot of money, what happens is the price starts to go up, right? Businesses start to raise their prices because they know a lot of people now have money. But inflation is a concept that we will go into on its own sometime in the future. Central banks try to keep inflation under control, but too much inflation can make life expensive. On the flip side, if there's no inflation, or worse, prices drop too much, it can hurt business. So a little inflation is actually good, but for you, it just means prices will likely keep going up, so plan ahead. So what can you do about the inflation and rising prices? Well, there's one big answer: save money. When you save, you're setting aside money for future you. Whether it's for an emergency, a big purchase, or just peace of mind, saving gives you options. But here's the bonus: banks don't just hold your money, they pay you interest. Pay you interest for keeping it there. Think of it as a reward for saving. Over time, your money can grow without you lifting a finger. This is called compound interest, and it's like magic. Your savings earn interest, and then that interest earns even more interest. The earlier you start saving, the more money you can grow. So even if it's just a few bucks from your allowance or part-time job, it adds up. So, what's the deal with money? It's created by the central banks. Its value changes with inflation, and saving it is the best way to stay ahead. Money might seem complicated, but once you start to understand the basics, you can make it work for you. you might be able to tell by now that this is my very first video. This is a way of me trying to get myself to be more productive. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Let's keep learning together, guys. And you can leave tips down in a comment of ways I can make my videos better for you guys, and it'd help a lot. So thank you guys so much.